Meanwhile, to this idea of a rigged election and whether some of the stuff that came up when Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton were going at it are coming back to burn her. Bernie Sanders supporter Amer Zahr says that the election was already rigged against her county, especially with the dismissive emails a lot of Clintonites had of Bernie Sanders, I think. But that's the way of calling the guy a buffoon. But having said that and seeing the coordination with the White House and some of these emails that have since come out, you're worried that your fears then are justified now, right?
Well, I mean, what we saw with Bernie was, not necessarily voter fraud or anything like that, but a system that was set up, probably from years ago, that kind of served as an incumbency protection system, in this case the incumbent being Hillary Clinton or the favorite. So the Democratic Party had set up, primaries. For instance, you had a primary in New York where if you wanted to vote for Bernie in April of 2016, you would have had to have been registered as a Democrat by October of 2015. And that really goes against, new people coming into the process, the momentum that Bernie was creating, the energy that he was creating. And New York wasn't the only place that kind of happened. And then you look at open primary states like Michigan, Indiana, Wisconsin, Minnesota, where Bernie could operate and compete on an equal level. He won those states. So, that's what we saw in the primary, and I don't think that happens as much as in a general election, but that is what we saw on the ground in the primary.
But one of the things that I'm sure that is rattling a little bit, I talked to other folks like you, still uncommitted, they don't know what they're going to do, but that Hillary Clinton was saying one thing in a lot of debates, but said something differently, or seems to come out in these emails, railing against banks and big money center banks and investment brokers and the like. But behind closed doors and speeches to that same community, very friendly, supportive type statements. Now, that was something that Bernie Sanders said, let me see those speeches. Now we're getting wind that his worst suspicions are right, but he is still supporting her. So why not you?
Well, look, I mean, I understand Bernie's support of Hillary. I think, and a lot of us actually, for instance, I would never in a million years vote for Trump. If somebody asked me what are the chances of voting for Trump, I'd say 0. If somebody asked me what are the chances of voting for Hillary right now, I'd say maybe 10%, So really? I understand Bernie doesn't want to go down in history. So are you more likely, I'm sorry, are you more likely to vote for Hillary now than obviously Donald Trump, but even a third-party candidate? No, I'm leaning towards third-party candidates right now very strongly. Yeah, I can't vote for Hillary based on many things, based on being an Arab and Muslim American, the way she's treated our community. Also, because of these things that are coming out now, everything that Bernie said in his campaign was true. And the real fear that I have coming in the next 3 weeks, I mean, Donald Trump seems to do a good job in his rallies when he's talking policy, and then he turns it into a rally. I mean, he's much more obsessed with becoming the story than letting the policies become the story. But I'm worried in the next few weeks of those Bernie supporters which didn't come up in the primaries, but would have come up in a general election, middle-class, working-class whites that live throughout the Midwest, that would have gone totally towards Bernie against Trump because they don't like Trump's demeanor, even though they might be the same on policy. But with Hillary, they can't agree with her on her policy and her free trade, and they might dismiss Trump's demeanor and his xenophobia and these other things and go towards him, whereas Bernie would have totally destroyed Donald Trump on November 8th. We still don't know what might happen on November 8th, even though it seems pretty likely that she'll beat him.
No, we'll never know. We'll never know. But Amer, thank you for taking the time. We do appreciate it.